Chris White, this is a review chat for a game that is probably one of the most anticipated games so far in 2017.
Most
It
definitely.
is Horizon Zero Dawn by Guerrilla Games and a Sony exclusive. Where the hell do we start? What do you think? What do you think of this game? Just go for it.
Okay, I absolutely love it.
Okay.
I'm really. I don't know whether it's the fact that it's just gorgeous or the kind of the mechanics with the combat of the different fighting them different machines or whatever. It just all comes together. The story is excellent.
Aloy is a terrific character,
She's
isn't she?
phenomenal.
She holds the whole game together.
She's completely. And it's this whole woman lead character, but it's a really good thing, and she really does work. So I don't know. I suppose we'll kick off with like the basic premise.
Well, I was going to say, let's just get the elephant in the room out of the way, because we're 1 minute into this chat, and I feel the thing we must address right away, okay? Because I don't think, despite all the trailers, despite the previews, despite the hype for this game, I don't think it's 100% clear what kind of game this actually is.
Yeah.
And I'm going to go out on a limb and say you'll agree with me on this. This game is basically Far Cry.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, we agree on that much.
Yeah. There's a lot of similarity. I mean, the kind of the game itself, it doesn't borrow from anything, but it just reminds me of so many great games with great mechanics that it's kind of amalgamation of all of them. Like it reminds me a lot of Far Cry, especially Primal,
Tomb Raider.
Tomb Raider, Shadow of Mordor. Reminds me a lot of that. The kind of combat of the different machines and stuff.
Yeah.
And it just pulls from them all. Even stuff like Watch Dogs. It's just
little bit of Witcher with the conversations and stuff.
Oh yeah. It's just perfect. But it does it all so well, and it manages to kind of just bring it all together and just the kind of. So it's an open world, and it is in the.
It's a big one,
and it's like it doesn't. It's not like Dragon Age or The Witcher where there's areas. It's literally you could walk the kind of around the whole map and nothing would ever break. I mean, it's just so smooth. It's so gorgeous. The different kind of weather systems, the ecosystems, the way.
I was playing the other day, Chris, and you talk about the weather systems, and we should say. You've reviewed this regard as a geek. You've played more than I have, so I only recently saw this. So I'd seen rain, and it looks. One thing I say, I'm playing on a pro. The HDR in this game is probably the best I've seen so far. Like it makes this game sing. Like in a way, I was genuinely taken aback. I'm not saying it's the best aesthetically looking game ever made. I'm just saying the HDR is fucking insane. Like it's really good. And I was playing this section and it started raining, as does happen. But I actually got a storm. And the storm is like nothing I've seen in a video game. Like this storm was so intense that it almost I went inside a building as I was just looking for stuff. It almost goes black and white. So heavy is the storm, and when storms happen in real life, it goes grey overhead. Have you seen that? I mean, obviously you have.
This is the thing, right? I was actually reading a little bit about how they've done this, and it's not the same for everyone. I don't think the storms are based on the cloud systems in the sky, and it can happen quite randomly. And now I haven't experienced a big storm like that. I've not experienced thunder and lightning. I haven't. But
really?
I mean, yeah. But they were originally going to put lightning bolts in it, so the lightning bolts could hit machines or they could hit you randomly if there was ever a storm. But obviously they cut that off because it was a bit unfair. But the different. So this map is huge, and that you'll be walking around, and there's like a desert area. You can get sandstorms there, or it could be like really clear and peaceful. Or there's the snowy mountains, and it can hammer it down with snow, or it could be like a really thin, crisp air. There is rain, there is storms. I've not experienced massive storms, but it has rained thoroughly. And then there's just times where it's just gorgeous, and you can see into the distance, and it is. It's like you look in the distance, you can go there, and it's insane. And that's it's one of those games where I've not really fast travelled much. I have just enjoyed kind of travelling across, and it's difficult on foot, but then I mean, we'll go. We can kind of move on to the machines, I suppose. But
I was going to say because like this is a game that they're definitely saying like, look at this on a PS4 Pro. They definitely are. Like, there's no question.
Yeah.
This is it's Guerrilla. You know, and just like they've always been with the Killzone games, Guerrilla. Whatever you think of their previous games, Guerrilla know how to make visually incredible looking games that I think run on hardware that you're like, how have they done this? Yeah. So we've said our piece on the visuals. Yeah. Like there will be a million analyses, I'm sure, of how the game looks and runs. I found it so far to be completely stable, and I know you've had the same.
Absolutely. Yeah.
But we still haven't addressed the fact. You've played more than me, so I want to ask you this question.
Yeah.
A lot of the trailers show Aloy kind of jumping around, like, you know, because you've got it's basically Tomb Raider's. Oh shit, what was it called? Hunter Vision. Oh, what was it called? Survivor Vision, like where you basically click the right stick and you can analyse the area.
Like detective mode in the Arkham games, mode. Stuff like that.
So you can do all that, but you can kind of jump around like slow motion mode, pull an arrow, and a lot of the trailers show this like all action Aloy. I feel. So again, so far, and this is why I want you to tell the viewers if this is something that continues.
Yeah.
I feel it's actually more of a stealth game a lot of the time.
There's a hell of a lot of stealth, and there's a lot of times you have to infiltrate camps and bases, and if you go in all guns blazing, you won't succeed, especially later on. You know, there's a hell of a lot of different kind of machines in this, a lot of beasts, a lot of different kind of creatures of all shapes and sizes, speeds, all that kind of thing. And not just that, but there's like the Karja warriors. Like there's so many kind of things to fight. It's just not worth it. So yeah, there's a hell of a lot of stealth in it, and there's a lot of ways to be stealthy. There's a lot of tall grass which you can hide in, and you've got that like in like Skyrim where there's the eye in the middle. If you hide, then it closes, so you know that you're not being seen by anyone. So yeah, there's a lot of stealth, and that's like a whole aspect. You could probably get through a lot of the game by kind of moving around, and even when you're not in a mission and you just kind of wander in the plains, there's like different kind of settlements, or there's bandit camps, or there's a place where certain machines are grazing. You have to stealth around them, but then yes, there's the stealth and it's amazing, but then the combat is just as equally brilliant. And it's an option. I was going to say I feel like I've sort of gone, it's a stealth game, and I do think it is. Yeah. But I also like I've had moments. I keep forgetting the name of these bloody. They're basically dinosaurs. It's kind of like this is the Horizon Zero Dawn equivalent of a massive tiger. Yeah. And I think it's those. I was doing a side quest, and the side quest was to help these guys. I didn't realise what they were being attacked by. It was two of those things, and I got spotted. And I was like, well, stealth is gone now. Yeah. Like I think you can run away and break line of sight and get back to stealth, but the area I was in, it's like, stealth is no longer an option. So now I have to use my arsenal here. I have to use, like, is it slingshot, where you can throw a freeze bomb at them? Yeah. My favourite is actually, what's it called? I think it's called a rope. Well, you can basically fire ropes at them. The rope caster,
and it holds them down, doesn't it?
Oh, God. Like, this is it, right? The thing that I wanted to talk about the machines quickly before I talk about combating, because the way that all these have been created is insane. So you've got loads of different types. You can look in your menus and see which ones you discover. There's about 20, 25. There's ones that I'm going to describe them as animals, because that's what they essentially are. But they are machines. But you've got like rhinos, you've got giraffes, you've got tigers, you've got little kind of, I don't know, emus, like the Watchers. They all act independently of like all the different types. So
what are the Watchers supposed to be?
I don't really know. I thought emus, because they've got long necks.
Emus, but they're like big chickens as well.
Yeah. And there's like crocodiles. There's like when you buy like a big river or the big lake, there's crocodiles at the side, and they move.
I haven't seen those yet, man.
They move. They're fucking terrifying as well. And
are they big?
They're massive.
Oh dear.
I just like get past like 4 of them, and it's just impossible. But there's like there's like elephants. The ones that look like elephants. What? They're huge, man. And so they all kind of act like animals act in real life. So they act the same way in the packs. And they're like there's things called striders, and they're like essentially like horses, which you can override and you can climb on. You can also just briefly. There's these missions called cauldrons where you go underground, and it's like a section of like all wires and cables, and you can eventually unlock something to kind of override more of these animals.
Right. I was wondering about that.
That's what the cauldrons are. So they're cool.
Right. I need to go do some of them.
The animals, you can. Oh, there's birds as well. There's fucking birds flying around.
Shout out to Mecha Giraffe because.
Yeah.
I didn't. Obviously, my first impression of this game is like, oh, this is very Far Cry. Like, to the point where I think if Ubisoft announce a Far Cry this year, they're making a big mistake. Like a big mistake if they announce one this year. I didn't realise it until I was talking to someone about this game and saying it's old Far Cry, and they said to me, "Are there towers?" And I went, no. Oh, yes, there are. There are towers. Those giraffes are towers because you climb. They're like puzzles that you climb.
Yeah.
And then you reveal the map by. Do you override them? I think you do, don't you?
Yeah, you go to the top of the head.
It never occurred to me. It's like there are towers in this game.
They're just moving, and you have to try and find a way to get on top of them because you can't just climb at them from the bottom. You have to find what's one of the kind of ways which quickly like going back to the stealth is that you can tag kind of the way that their tracks. So you know when they can go in, when they're going around a certain building or something. So you could essentially track one of these things, which I can't quite remember what they're called. But you can go climb up a building and then jump up onto their necks and find a way up to kind of override them on the tops. But yeah, they all kind of act as they would do if they were animals and stuff like that. And you the way you combat them, you've got things called rope casters, which, as you said earlier, you can kind of get attached like a rope to all four of the legs if you wanted to, and then they're kind of stuck. And then
whoa, hang on.
What?
Am I supposed to be firing them at their legs?
Well, you can fire.
Because that does make sense, but I'm always panicking when they come at me, so I'm just firing. I miss about 4 shots. Does it make a difference?
The more, they use logic really well in this game. Like, if you went round and I started doing the kind of the heads because again I'm just shitting it, just trying to fire because I don't know. But you can get them. Like, just think, like, what would you do if you were trying to do this in real life?
Never did. It never occurred to me. Never. That's great.
You can certainly do it. And again, all animals, they're all acting differently, so you have to think what would be the best place to do it. So you can use your rope caster. Then you can also use this other thing, which I can't quite remember, but it's the other one where you can tripcaster, which essentially creates a little kind of tripwire, electrical tripwire, which kind of stuns them and they'll fall over and stuff like that. And then you've got your bows. You've got different types of bows, which fire different arrows. You've got your flamed arrows, your standard arrows, your kind of piercing arrows, which is like a sniper arrow, and then like an armor piercing ammo, which is the best. Once you start to work out how they work, fire one of these arrows at one of the kind of bigger animals, like the kind of the bulls that are coming at you. It'll shred their armor, and then you'll get more damage with the standard arrows and stuff like that. There are guns as well. There's like a bolt gun. There's a lot. That's
quite useful.
A lot to try and work out, but you can interchange between 4 weapons at any time, and it's dead easy to switch. You press the L1 button, brings all the weapons up. Time slows down, so you have got time to change and stuff.
And you're looting everything you kill.
And that's it.
Materials to like build more ammo or whatever.
Absolutely have to, because if you don't, you can find yourself in a tricky situation where you can't actually craft anything else.
If I was to lay a small complaint at that situation, I find a couple of things I don't know if you did this, but I would personally tips for people is that there are 2 options that are on by default that I would change. First of all is the HUD. I changed that very quickly to like a dynamic HUD so that the stuff basically I don't need it's a bit, the screen furniture is a bit much, I think, but if you change the HUD to sort of the dynamic mode, it fades away when you don't need it. You just rest your finger on the touchpad and it brings it all back up, and it comes back in combat anyway. But I just feel like this game's a very pretty game and there's a lot of screen furniture. That's one personal tip I would give. I would also say that I found the pathfinding on like my waypoint was a bit like a GPS, like it kept trying to correct itself.
That's the one.
So I switched that back to just point me to wherever it is, whatever direction I'm in, point me to that. But the other option that I think defaults to is like it wants you to use the path rather than just go over a hill. It wants you to follow the path. And I found that confused me, so I just switched that off and put it back to sort of like just point me to the area and I will go to the area.
I mean, I've not actually altered it because I wasn't sure if you could, but I kind of kept it on when you override one of the machines, because like Red Dead, they run better on the kind of paths. So I would use them for that. But the like the top of the screen, there's the direction that kind of waypoint stays wherever. If you
Right.
so you could essentially just look for that and follow that, but then that kind of GPS, which absolutely right, can be a bit kind of annoying.
Bit wonky.
You know, it's not the end of the world, but
it's a tiny complaint, and one you can change in the options. The only one that I found, again, personally, this might not bother other people. I found, like, I know you're collecting like berries or whatever to keep your health pack filled up, and you're collecting trees like you would in Tomb Raider. I found that sometimes it's like there's a lot of them, and it's very distracting. And you don't have to grab them, but you kind of also can't help it. I found there's a lot of that, and the other thing is the stealth. Is like the stealth is great when it comes to the mechanical animals, because if you kill something, the other mechanical animal doesn't care because it's a mechanical animal. It doesn't care that something's dead. So that's fine. But when you are like attacking like, the outposts or something and you kill a human enemy, you can't move the bodies or anything. No. So it's a bit like they will find it. So I found that stealth, again, small complaint, but I found that stealth in those sections wasn't ideal because maybe I wasn't being very good, but at the same time, like, I shot someone, I'm still under the radar, I'm still in stealth, no one's seen me, but I can't move that body. So they will walk across that path. Yeah. Unless I get them quickly, you know, minor complaints in an otherwise terrific game.
I mean, it is terrific, and if you not the gameplay itself, so the combat, all that, the stealth, the traveling, the visuals, it's all gorgeous. But you always kind of wonder what they sacrificed to get that, and it can be either have great gameplay and a shit story, or the other way. But you know, I'm not going to go into it. But the story is really good, and when you find out what Zero Dawn is, it is like, holy shit! Like,
right, I don't say anymore.
I don't want to build it up, but you know, it's such a good game. Like, and I've kind of fallen in love with it a bit. It's like a really fun game to just kind of, you can just lose yourself in it.
Isn't it? Very Moorish.
And like the visuals, like when you go into the cities, because there's like different cities everywhere.
Right.
There's so much detail in them, and people act differently depending on where you go. It's a really smart game. Excellent.
Chris is a bit in love with it. I can hear it in your voice. Like, we do a lot of these chats, and I can hear there's almost like a feverish excitement, and there is a lot to talk about. But we'll stop it there. What we will say is go to godisageek.com, where you'll see a full scored review of this game. And also, make sure you go to patreon.com/godisageek, because if you enjoyed this video, if you like what we did, if you like just one of us, if you like both of us, whatever, go to patreon.com/godisageek, and $1, which is less than £1 a month, will get you exclusive videos, early access, all sorts of things. Go and have a look. You'll see. There it is. Chris, thank you for your time.
No worries, thank you.
And we will catch you in the next video. Bye-bye for now.